This is absolutely disrespectful, as multiple college football analysts have spoken out against Ohio State when it comes to the college football playoff, and we have to break it down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Columbus Football 365. If you're an Ohio State Buckeye football fan, hit that subscribe button. Only 5.3% of viewers are subscribed, so please help me out a little bit. Hit that subscribe button. But getting into the news, coming from CBS Sports analyst Rick Neuheisel, he said, if I was taking the role of somebody sitting on that college football selection committee here that first Tuesday night, they're going to go with Ohio State as the number one team. But if I had to pick who's going to win that game, I'd take Indiana. So for whatever reason, everyone still thinks that Ohio State has that super easy schedule and, they wouldn't be as dominant if they were playing real teams. But I would like to direct everyone's attention to this group of 4 games that they played. What the top teams do is you win all your games, but then when you are up against mismatches, you need to blow out the other team. Ohio State against Wisconsin, mismatch 34-0. Against Minnesota, mismatch 42-3. They are blowing out the teams that are really, really bad, and they're making really good teams look like they're really, really bad. Look at Washington. Currently, they were unranked when Ohio State played against them. We blew them out, and everyone just goes, oh, it's just a whatever game. It's just another game. But we knew at the time that DeMond Williams was a really good quarterback. We knew Denzel Boston's a good wide receiver, and we knew they had a good running back as well on that football team, and we knew Washington was a good team, so we knew 24-6 was a really good win. Now, Washington is ranked 24, but no one gives credit for Ohio State for beating them soundly. They were unranked when we played them. That doesn't count. Also, Texas is now ranked 13, but it's still, that win, for whatever reason, doesn't count as a quality victory for Ohio State anymore. Doesn't make any sense to me. But someone else, another college football analyst, speaking out about this topic. The former Wolverine star and Heisman Trophy winner Desmond Howard said that the Buckeyes are slightly overrated on Saturday's ESPN College Football Game Day. He said, I think Indiana should be number one because of their wins. It's safe to say that Ohio State is overrated at number one. This is just absolutely insane. I don't know how Ohio State could be overrated at number one when they have the best players in the country. They have the best player according to everybody in Jeremiah Smith, and they have the number one betting Heisman odds-on favorite to win the Heisman Trophy in Julian Sayin. They have the best players on offense, and Carnell Tate having maybe even a better year than Jeremiah Smith, our wide receiver too, having arguably a better year than the number one player in college football. That's insane on the offensive side of the football. And then you move over to the defensive side of the football, where their defense allows the fewest yards per game in the entire country and the fewest points per game in the entire country at 6.9 points per game allowed. That's insane. That is almost impossible to do. There was a stat read off during the Ohio State game versus Penn State where the last 4 teams that were able to hold their first 8 opponents all under either 17 or 18 points, they all went on to win the national championship. So Ohio State should feel amazing about where they are. The defense is something that can carry us the entire way. And it's not even just on the defense. The offense is absolutely amazing as well. When you just piecing together everything this offense has, it is completely unfair what Ohio State is rolling out every single week. We have, not only the wide receivers, Max Clare, fantastic tight end, that is not getting enough love, and our running backs are also not getting enough love. But we got to go over to the other side as well, because Indiana, what they're doing is absolutely terrifying. As a fan of a team that's going to have to play Indiana potentially in the Big Ten championship game, should both teams stay undefeated, and it looks like they will, Indiana has been absolutely ruining teams. 56-6 over another Neuheisel. The son of the first guy's quote that I read off in this video is actually the offensive play caller for UCLA. 56-6. So maybe the dad got an up close and personal view on that game. I know if you watch the broadcast, they kept calling him in because he was obviously really interested to see what his son was up to that game. But then Indiana blowing out Maryland. Indiana does have the most quality win between Ohio State and Indiana. That win at Oregon, at Austin Stadium, 30-10. That's an extremely impressive win. It's even more impressive when you watch the game. Fernando Mendoza threw a pretty bad interception, trying to throw off his back foot, threw a pick six actually against Oregon. And then Oregon had another touchdown where it was a broken play defensively for Indiana. So if you take away those two fluky-ish touchdowns, Oregon was not able to make it in the end zone. They were not able to put a full drive together against Indiana, and we know firsthand just how talented and good that Oregon team is. They're coached really, really well. So that win for Indiana is absolutely nothing to turn up our noses at. Also, like opponents between Indiana and Oregon, Indiana was able to completely soundly handle Illinois, which is a team that Ohio State, if I can find the score, Ohio State beat Illinois 34-16, while Indiana actually beat them 63-10. So that's absolutely insane. You got to show a ton of respect to what Indiana's doing. Curt Cignetti has all those guys playing with their hair on fire defensively, and then offensively, they look almost unstoppable. This last week, they were not really able to, or they were playing a defense that was not going to let them get the passing game going, which they have probably the number one overall pick in the draft on that team. They weren't going to let the game get started, so they ran for over 350 yards against them. Indiana is a team that, this is not the Indiana of the past. Like, throw out the name Indiana and what their history has been. This is a completely different team that is so easily deserving of the number 2 spot. And I can understand why some people would like maybe think they're better than Ohio State, but a combination of Ohio State's like resume, which is not bad, the resume is like pretty solid, combined with that, the players on offense, probably the best 2 coordinators in the entire country between Matt Patricia and Brian Hartline, and then you just look at the overall defensive statistics for Ohio State, combined with the quarterback who doesn't make mistakes, 23 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions for Julian Sayin, combined with that over 80, I believe it's 80.7% completion percentage for Julian Sayin. How could you ever go against the Ohio State Buckeyes? Now, I know Desmond Howard went to Michigan. He likes to troll Ohio State fans. This might just be a troll. He did say they're only a little bit overrated. He didn't say they're super overrated, but I can't for the life of me understand how they're overrated at all. But this Indiana game, I absolutely can't wait for. Ohio State got to get through Purdue. We got to get through, the team up north. We got to get through UCLA. And then we got to get through Rutgers as well. We're going to have, maybe depending on how tiebreakers break out, we might have room for 1 loss in there between those 4 conference matchups. Ohio State figures to be a large favorite going into each one of those games. We are a 29.5 point favorite this weekend versus Purdue. Indiana, on the other hand, they're only about a 16-point favorite in their matchup this weekend. But I will say, I would, if I actually sports bet myself, I would put money on Indiana. That spread is definitely something that they should be covering because Indiana is a fantastic team, and they will be the best team that Ohio State has seen all year when they meet in that Big Ten championship game, and I cannot wait to see it. I think they're going to be an extremely, extremely formidable opponent. They are plenty good enough to beat us, plenty good enough. Like, we play 10 times, we're going to win 7. We're going to win more than half of them, but they are very, very good. They are more than capable of taking one game from us. So I cannot wait to see how that one works out. But if you stuck around this long, appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Buckeyes.